Today is Thursday, January 30th, and we had a constructive day on the markets. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which was up 49 points or 0.25%, with 13% below the 50-day average volume. You can see the volume is, not drying up. It's just been a little lighter lately. We saw a lot of volume around the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. And I just wanted to point out here that the Nasdaq had closed the session today 0.8% above this rising red line, which is your 50 simple moving average, and 0.3% above the rising 21, which is this magenta line. You can see it's been a little choppy here as the green 10 EMA and the 21 pull back near the 50 and just kind of like come in for a soft landing, now looking for takeoff again. The Nasdaq here now is at 19,681. Still, quite a ways off from that 20,204. It's got a lot of work to do, I mean, it could get there in a day, but it would be a really nice day, a 600-point day. That would be great. Uh, but it's still constructive, still looks good, still positive, still in an uptrend, still on a power trend. Now I want to look at the SPY because the SPY is a little stronger than the Nasdaq. Once again, at a constructive day for the S&P 500. This one was up 0.54% on 21% below the 50 average volume. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the S&P instead of the SPY. Um, and this index is 1.4% above its 50 and 1.1% above the 21. That's why I say it's doing a little better than the NASDAQ. It did clear that 6,099 last week, I believe it was, on the 24th, which was Friday, 6/1/28, and then pulled back. We had that rough day on Monday, and then now it's recovered. And I'm going to get to that a little later on. But anyway, the SPY, and like I mentioned yesterday, if you like to play the leverage game, UPRO is outperforming the TQQQs, which, anyway, I'm not going to get into that today. I have too much stuff to get to, and I'm just going to go through it quickly. I'm just going to hit some ticker symbols, and I'm not really going to dissect the charts. You can just see for yourself. Microsoft reported last night. There's your reaction, down 6%. ServiceNow reported last night. Here's your reaction today, down 11%. It's not the news, it's the reaction to the news, and this is a very bad reaction. So you have two really large cap software stocks that sold off hard today. And so if you own a software name and your stock was up, that is showing relative strength. I'm going to get to some of those in a minute, but a lot of them were down today. It's a pretty rough day for software. Excuse me. It has been super cold here at home. All right. Who else reported? Tesla reported last night. And let me see, Tesla had a choppy session, and I figured it would do this kind of sell off, and then buyers step in. The car sales are kind of fledgling, slow sales in China, but Musk was able to sell the Wall Street on the forward-looking presentation that he had for Optimus robots and power and self-driving cars. So if that comes to fruition, who knows? But he was able to convince Wall Street, and you could see buyers stepped in after the original selling, and that's kind of what I thought would happen. Car sales, EV car sales, whoever has one, whoever wants one has one, and so the car business is just going to be kind of flat, but. He's pivoting to other areas, so the market like that. Anyway, speaking of pivoting, Zuckerberg pivoted to AI last year and it's really paying off for him. You can see these big blue volume bars here on the way into the earnings report and a nice response to last night's earnings report, which was a really positive report for Zuckerberg, but not as positive as IBM. And this does my heart good to see IBM. This is going on my gappers list. I'm going to create a video for Saturday for this earnings period of I wouldn't say top 10, just 10 earnings gappers that I like. And IBM is one of them. Why? Because it's gapping out of a base with volume. You can see the blue dot here showing relative strength, up more than 10% with more than 100% above average daily volume. So that's my criteria for an earnings gap, and IBM fits the bill. So congrats to Big Blue, which turned shareholders big green today. So morale must be great at IBM. TMO, which is Thermo Fisher. Um, had a big move, almost 7%. You can see it's still in this base here. This is another, 230 billion market cap stock, this medical research. And it did help some of the stocks within the group here. I'm going to get to that in a minute as well, but I have a lot more stuff to get to. Lam Research reported last night, nice 7% move. A lot of the semiconductors have been beaten down and have had trouble lately. And so that was good for Lam Research. Las Vegas Sands, this is, they were in, Macau. Is I shouldn't say gambling. It's a leisure gaming equipment. That's a nice way of saying, people go out and have fun and then spend some money at Las Vegas Sands, and it's up 10% this week and up 11% on the session today. That doesn't qualify as a power earnings gap because it's below the moving averages, not out of a base. So that will not be on my list. CLS, this is one of the stocks that got hammered on that Deep Seek Monday morning blues, where everything got hammered. Yeah, it was down 28%, but it's recovered nicely, better than most. And I'm going to get to that as well because some companies are doing well, recovering, and others are not doing so well. But CLS had a report last night, up 13.5% today with volume. Once again, not on a gapper list because it's not gapping out of a base. It's just trying to recover, licking its wounds from Monday's thrashing. All right, this morning we saw more earnings reports. I love earnings season. We get these new data points. You get to see who's taking market share and who's losing market share. And obviously, UPS, they're losing market share to like FedEx and Amazon. Amazon's really efficient and eating UPS lunch. So Big Brown is full of big red numbers today. UPS, no bueno. MasterCard, just a steady Eddie. The consumer is spending, and MasterCard delivered a good quarter. Visa reported tonight as well. So consumer is strong. We're using our credit cards. Hopefully, we're paying them down at the end of the month and not carrying that interest over. That's a killer. Um, Caterpillar, construction, they have competition too. Komatsu, I don't know. Caterpillar just does not bode well though for 2025. Global, mining, construction, it's just not a good quarter, and they didn't have much good to say, and they're down nearly 5%. So that is a red flag for me, just going forward in general for the economy overall. Oshkosh, trucks and parts, heavy duty, manufacturers, fire, emergency, military, trucks, crane components up 18% today. Once again, this does not constitute a power earnings gap. It's not gapping out of a base. It's just trying to drive through its moving averages here. We could look just recovering from, it's been beaten down pretty badly. But a nice day for Oshkosh Bagash and NTCT. This is a software name that, bucked the trend. This is a power earnings gap up 12%, 156% above average daily volume, breaking out of a base. If you know me at all and have been following me at all, I don't like this move really, though. It closed at 8% of its daily range. So it made this big move up and then sellers came in. So we don't like that. We want to see it close near the high of the range, but I'll still put it on the power earnings gap and give it a couple more days. Profit takings to be expected, and maybe some buyers will, pull in tomorrow and take it up above 25. So anyway, these companies are just, reporting data and investors are responding. This is Sherwin-Williams. It's a Dow Jones component, reported earnings today and bounced off its 21. Now it's above its 50. So a good move for Sherwin-Williams. Paint. Okay, I'm going to move on now. That's it for earnings. I got to get to some names. I did mention the medical um, VCYT Verisight. I got to admit, I don't know a lot about this company, but I just, I've noticed on my list here, I had about 70 stocks that were set up in bases kind of like this, and I pared it down to about 12 for the week. And some of the names that I had on there are doing better than the names that I selected. But that's the way it goes in stocks. You can't pick 70 stocks to choose from. It's just too many. So you focus on 12, and sometimes these other ones I do a little better. And this one's still actionable though. I mean, it's a little extended here. It's 5.5% above its 10. You can see that RS line heading due north. It's got the blue dot. A lot of strength there. It's got that pivot at 46. So, it's legit buy point there, standard buy point at 46. Obviously you'd rather get it at 44.50, but just pointing it out. There's just a ton of stocks that look good right now. And I've mentioned this, I don't know, for like the last 3 weeks, and we've had a really, a lot of success at mcstockcharts.com with our stock picking. And when stocks, there's are times, you think I always say, oh, stocks are set up. They're not always set up. And then there's times when they're not set up. I'll say there's not much looking good now, but right now, a lot of stocks looking good. You can see this ascending base here, then it consolidated, now trying to break out. So that one looks fantastic. MASI, another medical systems equipment stock. They're right there at that 180.97. Another one that I was looking at over the weekend, I like stocks that trade tight within a base and pull back to moving average. And this is I've been watching, but moved higher today. And yeah, anyway, I get frustrated sometimes with myself, but that's the way it goes. GRAL, once again, medical services. I did not have this one on my red list because it's way extended, but it became more extended today, up 18%. So yeah, I mean, this is an IPO, had that 21, 47 buy point, pulled back to its 50. And then like, I think 2 weeks ago, really had a nice move. Well, that was last week there. It was only up 64%. Now this week, followed up with a 10% move. So GRAIL is the holy grail in the medical. And I'm going to stop there with medicals. I just have a lot of stuff to get to today. Some of the finance names, finance credit card payment stock. This is one that I did have on my ready list this week. Shift four payments, and it's doing okay. It's up almost 4% today. If you bought it, congrats. That's a nice move. Um, I think it goes higher, but you can do what you wish with it. TOST is another one trading tight within a base now, above moving averages. I'm not going to put this one on Friday. I'm kind of hesitant to put a lot of stocks on Fridays. You have a good week, there's profit taking on Friday, and they might open up strong, and then you jump at them, and then they sell off into the close, and you're underwater, and that's not a good feeling going into the weekend. And we also saw how many stocks got hammered last Monday, so I'm a little cautious as that could happen again. Anyway, it's a risk event holding over the weekend. SYF, this is the financial stock savings and loan. I just want to point this out. Another one that, near a buy point, pulled back to its 50, found support. So if you like that kind of thing, there's just a lot of names out there that look pretty good to me. CORT is another one that I hesitant to put on, but obviously trading tight. I've been pointing this out on my videos. But I haven't put it on my ready list at mcstockcharts.com, so now I'm kicking myself again. I'm gonna have to do some push-ups and run 50 laps or something. This one was up 14% today. Nice move. Definitely one that's going to be on our what do you call it? Our gapper list, which I crumpled up and threw in the garbage can. I got to fish it out here. I think this is on there. Yeah, CORT. So yeah, definitely. I'll make that video this weekend so you can look for that in my week after my weekend report. But that thing just looks like textbook, right? I know that the handle is supposed to be 5 days. There's your high in the handle. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So really today was the fifth day, but rules are made to be broken or bent anyway. So Court Therapeutics, one of my favorite. Not too many biotech stocks that I like right now. TGTX is one of them. I keep showing you this one. Once again, I don't have it on my ready list at mcstockcharts.com, but I probably should as it broke above its downtrend line. And now it's just forming, the right side of the base here. Yeah, it's been down the last couple of days, but just marginally on light volume. That's what you want to see. And it's traded and closed Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right about at the same number, I think. 33.45. Yesterday closed 33.37. Today 33.36. So this one, I believe they're gonna report earnings, and I think they're gonna be really strong earnings. If you look here at the growth, this is their comp numbers, 44 million in sales, and I think the CEO just guided to like, I don't know, 105 million. So this is going to be, 200%. You're gonna have triple digit sales growth. You're gonna have triple digit earnings growth with this thing. And just if you're looking out over time, if they execute, this thing's going to be a blockbuster drug. It's going to be a cash cow within a couple of years. I mean, if you have that type of time horizon or time frame to wait for it, and things can go wrong with stocks. I mean, there could be competition, or a patient could get ill, or anything, supply chain issues. Anytime you put a dollar in a stock, that dollar's at risk. There's always risks involved. TECX, this is Tectonic Therapeutics, big move today. Phase two trial, I believe. Yeah, up 113%. Thank you very much. You can see it sold off before. Woo, and then got that slingshot move to all-time highs there. All right, so let's move on. I got to go to retail, my favorite sector right now. I think it's really undervalued. This is one that I do believe I had on my ready list this week. I do have it. Yeah, 119.47 standard buy point. Nice move. It's up $4 above the pivot. You could see it was trading, within the base, pulled back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days on that handle down to the 21, popped on Tuesday, added 2% Wednesday, and up again today, 1.2%. So SE looking good. And the retail names, if you look at these retail sales data, if you look at the finance, the credit card stocks, the MasterCard, the Visa, and the American Express, and what they're saying about the consumer, you can put two and two together, and you can understand why stocks like Brinker and DR Horton and Kava and those ones are doing so well. Because people are eating out, right? All right, I'm going to move on. People are also working out. So they're eating out, then they're working out. At Planet Fitness, Leisure Services, top 20 group, had this flat, and that's a flat base. Pattern Rec's not picking it up. That looks like a 5 week tight pattern. And what is it? Yeah, 5 weeks tight. How about that? Popped up. And now moving higher. So Planet Fitness looks pretty darn good. Another one that I didn't have on my ready list this week. So that's just the way it goes. Can't kiss all the babies. DoorDash, I believe this. I have this one on. This is one of my favorite stocks. And you shouldn't have favorite stocks because that implies emotion, favoritism. I love this stock. I do like this. I think I show it every day. The weekly chart is it's breaking out now. I think it hit 190 today. I mean, this is a steady Eddie. This one's not going to run away from you, but it's just steadily climbing. So it's a pretty easy hold. Pull back to the 50 for its first time since the breakout. Form this little base. It's moving higher. I think just the business model, and I saw a sign on New Year's Day, so I'm going to go with that. Somebody was trying to get in the gates and didn't have the code. He says, "I'm with DoorDash. Can you help me, please?" I said, "Sure. I'm going to buy your stock." This is Warby Parker, I guess, a glass company, glasses, sunglasses, I don't know, eyewear. Breaking out of this Darvis box here today, 5.6%. So not going to ignore that kind of a move. That's a nice breakout there. Shark Ninja. This is one that I have on my ready list, and again, just a lot of stocks like this set up in bases. And this is what that 6, 7 weeks of choppiness has done for us. It's provided a lot of nice looking charts here. Shark Ninja is one of them. I mean, then Garmin is another one that I have on ready list as well. Once again, trading tight within a base near the moving averages. I could sharp pull back to the 50 and a bounce, like a trampoline here. coming up with Garmin. All right, so that's the retail space, except for I did mention, I got to go over Kava, which looks fantastic. Bros, another one of my, I think these guys are killing it. I mentioned Brinker. Brinker got upgraded today. I think the price target was 215, and this is not gonna. Yeah, maybe it will be. How about that? Yeah, nice breakout here. Um, and it's just been a ripper. People ask me like, how do I buy Brinker? Well, you just it's not setting up in a base like it did here, last fall. I mean, this is the last time you had a chance. It's just been ripping and ripping and ripping, and this week up 22%, kind of don't want to buy something up 22%, but what did it do today? It followed on yesterday's price action, right? So the low yesterday was 171.20. You buy it and say that's your low, that's your stop out. If you buy it tomorrow, the low is 178.68. That's your stop out. Don't want it to see it making lower lows there. So you could buy anything, just have a stop. And if it goes against you, then just get out. It's not going to kill you to take a swing at some of these things. All right. I did mention DR Horton. This one did gap out of a base here nicely. December 19th, and it's just been, pulled back to the 21 one time, making new highs. So this is Olive Garden, Chili's, these guys are killing it. Anyway, I mentioned Kava. A lot of them are doing really well. And I got to move on here. Neil Young sings A Heart of Gold, and my friend Mike Webster, I was watching him the other day talking about this stock, and my mind just went straight to Neil Young, which I like Neil Young, like his music anyway. Been to his house there, and up in the hills, very nice. Up in the Santa Cruz kind of mountains there, up above Los Gatos. Uh, anyway, I digress. 89 there, the buy point, breaking out of that box. I lost my train of thought there. This is a gold stock, heart of gold. This is my Neil Young play. So if I want to buy a miner, which I'm not really fond of, but I want to buy the leader, and I think this one's the leader. HMY is another gold stock, just setting up in a base. Hasn't broke out yet. And what was the other one? Oh, AGI, another low price stock, $20. Once again, set up in a base, right? Been chopping around 6, 8 weeks, and now maybe it's ready to break out here. But it's definitely behind AEM in the gold mining plays. All right, I covered that. I mentioned software sucked today. And if your stock was up, after Microsoft and ServiceNow spit the bit, then that's showing relative strength. App 11, tried to get his groove on today and just sold off. The market, I shouldn't say market weakness, I should say sector weakness in software kind of dragged it down. But I mean, it was flat on the session. I really like this. I should have it on my ready list. 362.45, and it's close enough to that. A buy point. Twilio, another one that just gapped higher on its, broke out of this base here. Another one of my, favorite stocks. I have a lot of favorite stocks. If you haven't figured that out yet. Broke out of this box. And what it didn't do, it didn't break the low of that day, which would be 133.45, 133.51. So if you bought it the next day, which is what, Monday, then your low was 135.44. It didn't breach that low either. So if you bought it that day, your low is 139.61. And yesterday had an inside day, and it still did not break above the low. Today's low is 144.60. So it's a higher low every damn day. Excuse my French. So I'm encouraging. Well, I don't know how to say this. I think it's a good risk to take a swing at this thing. And if it just makes a lower low, like on Friday, if it takes out this low here of 144.60 or 143.45, then it's adios muchachos. But, somebody's buying this thing and it's not Aunt Sally. So showing strength while the rest of the software group was gagging. That one showed strength. So did Spotify. Spotify had a favorable court decision today regarding, I don't know, a lawsuit. I don't like reading those legal things, but they rewarded some I don't know, they just won a suit and the stock was rewarded up 2% while the rest of the software cohort was pretty darn weak today. The IGV, yeah, down 0.75%. So not a good day for software. Anyway, I got to move on. There was that terrible helicopter Black Hawk hit the passenger plane last night in DC, and everyone perished in the Potomac. And I thought the airlines would get hit on that news. UAL is one that I have on my red list. Condolences to the families. It's really a tragedy. But I'm a stock guy, so I was just thinking about the stocks. Kind of sick that way. But breaking out of this box, I do like this thing about above 106. And UAL was able to hold today. I wasn't really watching the airlines that closely. Yeah, a little sell off in the morning, and then buyers came in and it closed higher. So yeah, United Airlines looks pretty good. Yeah, kind of a bummer. I mean, whenever you hop on a plane, heck, whenever you step off a curve on the sidewalk, you can get nailed. This is Alaska Airlines, obviously gapped out on earnings and has just been ripping higher. Alaska Airlines look fantastic. RCL, another one that gapped higher on earnings here, breaking out of the base once again, making higher lows day after day. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Up $10 after hours. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, I'll have to look into it. I have more stuff for after hours in the morning. Really busy. Really, these are really busy times, and I love it. Norwegian cruise lines. This is my boomer trade, obviously, with the airlines, the cruise lines, the booking, the hotels. This is a cup with handle pattern, and it tried to break out Tuesday. You can see it pulled back there, undercut the 50, then rallied back above, up 7% Tuesday, kind of flat Wednesday, another 2% today, making a new high. So that's Norwegian Cruise Lines. So the cruise lines are looking good, the airlines are looking good. And this is Viking, pulled back on the RCL when they said they're going to hit I don't know, they're going to have river cruises in a couple of years, pulled back to the 50, then bounced. Really nice looking. That's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of charts that look really good here. And anyway, that's it for my boomer trade for the day. I have to move on. And I got to mention, oh yeah, some of the stocks that got hit on the Deep Six news on which I did. I had this stock and I sold it. I didn't buy it back, but it undercut the 50 and rallied. And it's right here at that buy point, 168. 67, we'll just call it 169 right there. So, that's a buy point right there. And I don't care where the stock's coming from. I don't care if it's the first minute of the trading session or the last minute. If a stock is going through its buy point with volume like that, that's a buy to me. So yeah, I did buy that today. Wasn't on my ready list, but I needed something in this space because I don't think the story's changed. And like I say, in the stock market, your best ability is flexibility. So I'm trying to be flexible here. I had sold out of my GEV and Vistra, and I wanted something to get back in. That was up 13%. Since I mentioned GEV, it did the same thing. It went right through that buy point yesterday. Did I buy it? No. And that's why I bought Vistra today. Could have bought this one as well. It was up 8.5%, but I didn't. But I have some exposure now back into that section. Like I said, I don't think the story's changed at all. And I mentioned that these guys guided to 37 billion, but when a stock slices its 50 with volume, it's just my rule to get out. And usually when I buy back bigger, but I didn't buy this one back. So I'm in Vistra and not GE. And that's just the way trading goes sometimes. You get shaken out and you got to buy back and try to be flexible as possible. CEG, this one is doing better than the other ones. It didn't sell off as fierce as some of the other ones. It didn't even pull back to its 50 on the Monday. It did go lower on Tuesday and then bounce nicely. So it's above all of its moving averages, and it went right through its buy point there at 288 yesterday. Did I buy this one? No. I'm an idiot. I'm slow to the switch here. You got to pull your punches faster. There's the quick and the dead. So I'm dead on this one. I missed it. OKLO, this one, OKLO. This one, man, this one barely pulled back, didn't even pull back to the 21, closed a tick below the 10 on Monday, and it's just rally, rally, rally the rest of the week. I mean, it was down on Monday with everything else, but still, now it's back up for the week. So pretty incredible strength for OKLO, OKLO, and in E, these, yeah. Didn't even pull back to the 10, this one. So these were showing strength, and what wasn't showing strength was the data center play like BERT. This one pulled back to the 200, got a little bit of a bounce, but pretty weak, pretty tepid, still below the 50, not anywhere close to that buy point of 145.67. You say, why not? Well, the others are power companies, and this is like a data center cooling. It's a power company too, but how shall I say this? There might be pricing power issues with this one. That's why it's not rebounding as strong. And then ALAB got hit on the deep seek news on Monday, and it's not rebounding well at all. Still well below its 50, but they're going to report in a couple weeks, and who knows? It could take out that 147. But geez, that's quite a spill there. Anyway, it's trying to get back above 100. Let's take a look at the 5 minute today. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's been buying, this is your Tuesday, your Wednesday, and your Thursday. So it's been a steady grind higher since that massive sell-off. That is just brutal. I'm sorry. Uh, that's just brutal. And you lose 28% in a day. And if you have high leverage and margin on your account, some people lost 10, 15, 20% of their account on Monday. So, I'm not making any jokes about that. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing. The earnings report that everyone's been looking forward to today. Decker's had a blowout quarter. Beat and raise, pretty heavy raise. The Hoka sales were up 24%. I think the sales overall was 19 or 18%. So you're seeing decreasing, decelerating, 22% sales, 20% sales. I believe today was 19. So, and then Hoka was 24. So, and Uggs, I believe, was like 16. So, I don't know. This is why I say it's very difficult when your stock is trading at all-time highs going into an earnings report. There's going to be some profit takers lurking out there. And I think that's what's going on here today at 187 after hours. Boot. Oh, also on Deckers, I wanted to point out it broke out of this gap here on November 22, right? And it's got that a gap that it never filled there at 180, 198. So I could see that coming down, filling the gap, and then blasting higher next week, back above 200. That would be my guess, because I'm not really sure why the stock would be punished that severely for, beat and raise. It's all about the forward guidance, and they really, had a nice guide. Boot Barn getting a haircut as well, down 8% after hours following their earnings report. Intel, is that the one everybody was looking for? Oh man, this thing is a disaster. Well, it's up 3% after hours, so I'll have more in the morning on that one. KLAC had a nice report, really strong numbers. Stocks responding up 4%. Still, you can see consolidating within a base. Like I say, a lot of the semiconductors have just been beaten up lately. Team is rallying. This is on breakout patrol for tomorrow. You got to watch the breakout alert. This is breaking out of a base after hours, up 18%. It's got that 287.97 buy point. So this could be on our list for my Gapper report for, it's early in the earnings season still, and we're going to have some powerful gappers. So I just want to get ahead of it and show a video on Saturday, and post some things that I think you should be looking at. And don't be afraid to buy these, because you can see, like in Twilio, if you bought, that gap day, what did I say? The low was what, 131, the high was 141. Just think if you top ticked it on that day and you bought at 141. Well, now it's 148, so you're still $7 to the good, even if, you made a mistake and top ticked it. This, Twilio is very forgiving right now. So anyway, I get sidetracked. Sorry about that. SkyWorst, this is another airline stock. Transportation airline up 5%. They had a really good number. So this is going to be breaking out of a base tomorrow as well. It looks like that buy point at 113. It's at 122 after hours. Wow. All right. Is there anything else out there? Oh yeah. Wait a minute. I got one more that oops. Oops. Visa. Visa reported, and once again, MasterCard, Visa, steady eddies. Now this one reported at an all-time high, and it's still going higher. Yeah, nice report from Visa today. And then the last one, of course, is Apple. Apple has a little bit of a China problem, like Tesla and any company. China economy's been pretty weak, and that's why they've been providing stimulus. The iPhone sales in China were pretty weak. And Apple, like Tesla, like Meta and Microsoft, you got to listen to their conference calls and see what they have to say. It was down, as the earnings release, the press release was announced, and now after hours and the call, Tim Cook might have said something that sparked a rally here, but up 3.5%. And this one has been beaten down. We've heard just a drumbeat of analysts, beating this stock up, saying that, sales were going to be bad. And iPhone sales did disappoint a little bit, but probably a little bit of a relief rally back above the 240 level tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll have more stuff in the morning. Hang in there. Tomorrow's the last day of January. We're going to start a new month. If you had a tough month, shake it off. There's going to be a lot of stocks that are going to be ripping and roaring. Catch the next one. I have a good feeling that there's going to be some real face ripping rallies here in some stocks in the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna hook into them. And if you've had a great January, don't get cocky because the market will humble your ass in a heartbeat. So, if you're up big, maybe take some profits and lock in the gains. And don't get cocky and start bragging about your P&L. That's the kiss of death. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.